Here we have job number 12512, and it's a faulty Xbox Series X that doesn't output to a TV. Not like your normal kind of HDMI swaps, in my opinion. If you take a look at that, the back of the port has been absolutely smashed in. This metal bit here, you see that pokes out, is meant to just go flat. And if we get a nice little close up there, you can see that something's just not right. So I'm going to take it over to the heater, which is just behind me, get the port off, and then we're going to investigate it under the scope and just see what the status of these traces are. Right, where are we? Okay, so I've cleared out the ground holes. As you can see, I just use a solder sucker whilst the board is on the heater just to make it as easy as possible. There is a bit of plastic there. You can see it's a very, very clean job. We've got a bit of solder here as well. Oh no, I think it's actually attached to one of these, so I'm not just going to rip that off. Whilst everything's still hot, a nice little clean. The Xbox Series X, I don't get that many ports to change, and they are solid. I think these little bits here, the grounding points, really, really help with that. They put some like glue underneath the port as well, which obviously plays a part, but I feel like these do a really, really good job of anchoring the port down. The reason why this one broke is purely because of the fact the customer dropped it with the cable in still. It's landed on something and pushed the cable through the back of the port. So this was customer damage. I don't think I've ever had one of these ports come in just from factory saying that some of these pins have become loose. When it comes to the PS5, however, I get those all the time. People just come in, they're like, my PS5 all of a sudden has just stopped displaying anything. And the pins on the back of the PS5 HDMI port always seem to come loose. So fair play to Microsoft for at least designing a board that really holds onto that HDMI port. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let me get my soldering iron and clear off the solder that we have left on the board. A bit of flux to the surrounding area just to make this a bit easier. The board is still hot because I've had it on the heater. I need to actually order some more wick because I'm running out. Don't need to apply leaded to get this stuff off again because the board is so hot. He says. I mean, this one's taking a bit of a while to come off, eh? Patience. That wasn't the easiest, so with that said, we're just going to apply some solder here, leaded, and combine that with the unleaded we have. And now this should be easy to get off. Yeah, there we go. Nice and easy. Look at that. Again, nice, clean. Just to make sure all good. Although this board is extremely strong when holding the port on, it also makes it like equally as tough to get the port off the board. So just bear in mind that if you ever work with this and you don't have a heater like I do to heat the board up to a reasonable degree, it's going to take you a very, very long time to get the port off, and you have to be super patient. Fun story as well, when I first done one of these ports on my main channel, these little diodes here, I was cleaning with a cotton bud, very much so like I am now, and accidentally ran over one of these. It wasn't even light. I say one of them. I think it was about 4, but it wasn't even heavy. Sorry, it was really light, and it just took 4 of them off the board. So that's again another quick tip, just in case you do run over this with a cotton bud. I would just say don't. Maybe use like a brush or something. Okay, so our board is clear and ready to tin. Same style as always. If you're around the channel, usually you'll know that this is how I prefer to do port swaps. I tin everything up and just drop the port into the board. Start with these little pins here. There we go. Tinning them up. Lovely jubbly. And then we just do the ground holes. Put as much in here as I can. And usually what I end up doing is just leaving a bigger blob even sitting on the top. Because when we put this port on and we heat the board, the solder just falls through. That's how we get a really nice finish on the actual port itself. So in my experience of doing these, the more solder blob you have, the better, because it bonds with the port. Exactly the same method for the PS5 as well. Okay, now just run over the actual pads, just like that. Nice. Quick clean, just get this flux off and we'll put some new flux on, just to help with that flow of solder. Only a little bit though. Don't need to go overboard with the flux to put a port on, in my opinion. We'll go over it anyway, usually, afterwards. There we go. That's all prepped and ready for the port. So now again, just a tiny bit of flux along here, just to make sure. Nowhere near as much as what I used previously. Big nozzle on the hot air station. Max temperature, max airspeed, max fan suction as well to get rid of these fumes, that's for sure. Might block some of the lighting out. There we go. That might be okay. We're just going to wait for the solder to wet completely. Then we're going to place the port on the board. Any second now the solder is going to wet, and you'll see those balls just fall through the board. You look at that bottom left one, it's going. Or is that a piece of dirt? That might be a piece of dirt, actually, I'm not too sure. We're about to find out. Come on. Okay, look, see the bottom right one? There it goes. Effectively, it's what we were wanting for all of them. 2 on the left should follow. 1, 2. Bonjour. Okay. Now we take the port. We place it on the board. I'm just going to hold that heat here for a long time, because I need that solder to wrap around the ground legs of this port. So you can't really see, but I've still got the air coming into the bottom of the board, because I need to ensure that this port is fully supported. I've just straightened it up a little bit as well, in which case I'm still going to hold it. Come in with my tweezers and just push down on the back of the port. Just to make sure we get that connection. I'm going to come off the heat in 3, 2, 1. And I'm off. Let it cool down. Let the solder solidify. Just going to check the positioning of the port to make sure we're all good. Yeah, we're looking really, really good. So, final thing, whilst the board is still relatively hot, take our flux, tiny little bit of solder on the end of my iron, and I'm just going to go over each pin, just to make sure we have a solid connection on each one, ensuring that that solder goes over the pin. Making sure not to actually bridge anything as well. A little bit of solder on the end of the iron. You can see that it's just, if I leave it on there long enough, it just soaks up some of that solder. It goes over the pin. It's going to give us a really nice finish as well. Good. Apply a little bit more flux at the end. A little bit more solder on the iron. Continue from where we were, which I think is here. I think I might actually need to apply a little bit of heat to get rid of the stubborn bits of flux first, to be honest. Get our heat gun, just like that, to warm up the flux. Swipe that all away first without applying isopropyl alcohol. And now come in with the IPA. Finish off the clean around the sides. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, looking really, really good. That solder's going over the pins on every single pin. I have every single bit of faith that they're solid, but I will check just to make sure that they're not going anywhere. Every single one looks solid. We have no bridges either, which is really, really good. Okay, and as you can see, you look at the side here, you can see that the solder has come through ground legs. Just there, you can see it's hugging that leg. Now our balls at the back are relatively big, aren't they? So I'm going to place the board on the heater again to get it nice and hot, and then I'm going to come back in and sort these balls out. We're going to use Big Bertha and Flux just here. And if you don't know who Big Bertha is, let me introduce you. This is Big Bertha. Wait. Perfect. The legs don't actually come all the way through on the Series X HDMI ports, so you want to, I think they come through a bit further on the back. And remember, you've got the mounting holes at the front, which keep it extra secure. But we don't want it looking ugly on the back. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Big Bertha here, and flow any solder through for extra support. Maybe got a little bit extra in there. Good. There we go. Nice one. And just a quick clean up. Again, the board is hot, so it makes it really nice and easy to clean up the flux here without having to use IPA at the moment, isopropyl alcohol. And then we can use isopropyl alcohol for the finishing touches, like now. So we come in with a bit of IPA. Just make this spick and span, as they say. And I can actually, I think, wave at you in the reflection of the solder. Yes, that's what we like to see. So I'm going to put this back together now and give it a test. And hopefully we have a fully working Xbox Series X. Tested the Xbox One and it seems to be working all okay. So it's going to be another happy customer. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.